Hello and welcome to another update video on Ethereum. I'm here on the daily time frame and we can see that Ethereum is currently bouncing after reacting to the 38.2 retracement, the $3,665 level. That's all still within our support area. I mean, we had some really weird collapses across the sector, and the thing is, if you use Binance charts, it looks even worse. I'm not sure if it really was that bad because I'm not even sure if those are actual prices that were hit, like on Sui, like 65 cents. If you look at the Coinbase charts, yes, it looks also horrible, but less unrealistic. Okay, but again, what I actually want to say is Ethereum never broke our support in this event. Bitcoin also hasn't broken any meaningful support. Solana also hasn't broken any meaningful support. Link also hasn't broken any meaningful support. So I always try from the altcoin jungle, guys, or chart jungle. I always try to filter for the charts that I believe have the, you could say, most stable structure. But of course, even they suffered and experienced another low. But the interesting thing is here, Ethereum hasn't really formed, any or has not really broken any structure. So Ethereum here on the daily chart is simply testing our 38.2 retrace level. That's an ideal target for a fourth wave. Yep, it could have bottomed already on the 25th of September and was oversold and rallied 25% after that. You know that. But it was not it's not, of course, not a sustained upside reversal. I believe it could have been, but the market just collapsed, right? Due to some external factors. Some of you might say manipulation. It certainly is very weird. I think there's definitely more going on in the background. But still, the result of that, was again market sentiment at play, fear and greed, mostly fear. And so, but the result was greed as well. Like lots of liquidations. I mean, guys, liquidations. You can only happen if you're leveraged, right? I mean, if you use futures and you're leveraged, and it's just what it is. It's people get liquidated. Like that's just crazy, but it's just because of the greed in the market. Like, I don't know. Just use spot, guys. I don't know. It's like everything else is like high risk. Yeah, you see that. And for something like Ethereum or Bitcoin, I think spot is the way to go, right? Because they are, let's say, some of the more higher quality charts in crypto. And even that is already risk, right? Because we don't know really what's going on with Ethereum long term and everything. But nothing is broken here. We're holding at the ideal target for a fourth wave. I always say that, guys. I always say it. It's the fourth wave often reaches the 38.2 retracement. If you have 100 wave 4 corrections, most of these, I don't know, maybe 70 to 80%, that's already quite high, would reach the 38.2 retracement. So it's not unnormal that Ethereum is reaching that level. Now, I would really prefer that this low has formed. Another low is okay. I believe that could be decided around the weekly candle close. Interesting is as well that Ethereum is holding above the 21-week EMA, which some of you have asked me if I could explain that one and why it is relevant. I don't find it so relevant for Ethereum. It is very relevant for Bitcoin, but it certainly also provides some support. But I would rather argue this is more because of the 38.2 retracement level here. Hold on, let me just double check if I really have. Yeah, I've got the weekly here. The 20. It's a Fibonacci related one, guys. 21 and 55. There are more there. Let me know in the comments if you want me to discuss these in future videos, like the relevance of the different EMAs, right? But 21, I mean, most people use 20, 50, like 100. But the 21, 55, and there are more in that sequence. I find them quite powerful because they reveal things that the others don't, like the standard ones, like, and they are kind of related to Fibonacci numbers, which is obviously here what we do with Elliott Wave and Fibonacci zones. So it kind of is something that is interesting to watch. So we have additional support there with this 21-week EMA. It's coming in at around $3,730 right now, just above our 38.2 retracement. One more low could be okay. but the market should not break below the 50% retracement. I've been talking about that since August. Well, it can. Yeah, it can, but then it will be difficult to justify this as a way forward. And I think, like with any thesis, you have to have kind of an invalidation. It's not formal invalidation if we break below it, but once we start to get breaks of this level there, 3,374, I think I'm starting to look lower. Yeah. Looking at the short-term chart for ETH then, short-term ETH, you can see that the market has reacted to this micro support zone I shared with you guys yesterday. We put it to the chart, onto the chart together. I'm just tracking here now. You know, I'm not even putting any like, you know, significant wave counts on here on the micro level. I find that is too early. This is now about just, I think, watching how the Sunday close occurs. For now, there is a local low potentially that formed there in the circle wave B support area. Micro support at 3,580. The bottom line here is to even consider we've bottomed on Friday, we need to hold 3,580. And then I want to see a break above 4,000. That's the swing high. But even that might be slightly different across exchanges. So it's roughly 4,000. And in the very short term, I need to see a 5-wave move up from that Saturday low. As you can probably clearly see, this is so far a 3-wave move up. I keep you updated about the structures here on the smaller time frames, but basically that's how we see it. I hope that added some value. If you want to get some more information, join our live session later today. Feel free to join our membership. There's a small the short trader here on our channel page that explains the member benefits, including member-only videos, live stream access every Sunday. We're going to go through, I'd say, at least 40 coins today, probably more. You can put your requests in the live session. Make sure you join as a member, then you can see the link. Leave your question there. Also, it's a great preparation for next week. You guys, throughout the last weeks, I mean, for those who've been attending these live sessions, you guys know that really there were only a few bullish setups across the sector. And most of the coins we're looking at in these, or we looked at in recent weeks, they weren't bullish, right? And a lot of people think like, okay, yeah, but okay, it's not my coin and everything. You guys need to see these live streams as a process we go through together as a community for education, because we go through Elliott wave counts. And for sentiment analysis, we look at the altcoin sector. Like I don't believe anybody out there on a Sunday, as preparation for next week, is giving you an altcoin market overview like that late Sunday before the weekly candle close, sentiment analysis to prepare you for the week. If most of these charts don't show promising setups, that's something that it tells us. Most of these look weak. Like most of the recently analyzed charts we went through that were requested by the community, and it's mainly community driven, and you can ask for your own coin to be checked. Not your own coin, but the coin you want to be analyzed. But if they are mostly messy, sideways, not bullish, that is so important. That tells us that, well, altcoins are still fragile, weak, no strong upside momentum, and it just tells us that this structure is, or this is a fragile, market. So it's sentiment that more than any fear and greed index, any stupid fear and greed index can even do. People don't see the value. So if you want to join, check it out later. I'm sure there will be some new insights from that drop, from that crash. And yeah, let's see what the community brings. See you over there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.